Welcome back, everyone. You're watching Network Africa, coming to you live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. We're taking you through top stories across the continent. Let's turn to Zimbabwe now, where the Defense Minister, Sidney Sekeramayi, has condemned a statement by the country's war veterans withdrawing their support for President Robert Mugabe. The minister described their utterance as treasonous. The war veterans had last week said it would not back the 92-year-old president in the next election. They have accused Mugabe of dictatorial tendencies, egocentrism, and bankrupt leadership. Well, the defense minister says there is no war veteran who would be so disparaging of the president of the party and the country. As the new Libyan government struggles to keep the country's economy afloat and the warring parties at bay, one sector has been left to fall apart, and that's Libya's hospitals. Many hospitals have been forced to shut down entire departments, with medicine scarce and doctors and medical supplies even scarcer. Libya's sick and wounded are paying the price.
Access to basic health care in Libya has become a genuine challenge. Hospitals are run down, doctors and nurses are scarce, medicines, medical supplies, and medical equipment are in short supply. As the new Libyan government struggles to keep the country's economy afloat and the various warring parties at bay, the country's health sector has been left to crumble. At Tripoli's main medical center, operations have been limited to the barest minimum. The facility's pharmacy shelves lay bare, with patients complaining that even when they can pay for medicines, they are not available. At Tripoli Central Hospital, the situation is equally abysmal. The sick and wounded crowd the hospital reception with medical papers in hand, hoping and begging for someone to pay attention to them. The hospital building itself is crumbling, with its doors, light fixtures, hospital beds and ceilings crumbling. Cautious signs of optimism emerged after the arrival of the newly formed and United Nations-backed Government of National Accord, headed by Prime Minister Fayez Sarraj last March. However, the political, security and economic challenges are immense, and Libyans, desperate for some form of stability, are increasingly impatient.
Wholesalers in Nigeria's biggest market, popularly known as the Computer Village, say their businesses are running a loss as Africa's biggest economy faces currency shortages. The central bank removed the peg on the Naira a month ago, but has been unable to maintain an initial rate of 280.
Serving customers at his shop in Nigeria's biggest IT market, wholesaler Emmanuel Gabriel wonders how long he can survive the hard currency shortages that are paralyzing Africa's biggest economy. The central bank had entrepreneurs like him in mind when it abandoned an overvalued Naira peg last month, as low oil exports have hammered the currency and public finances. We thought actually it would affect the price of forex in Nigeria, but instead of coming down, the thing went up, so there has not been any significant change for the better. The bank hoped that allowing the currency to lose a third of its value would attract investment and erase the need for a black market where the Naira has fallen versus the dollar some 40%. But a month since the float, Gabriel and most vendors in the market still have to buy dollars for a premium to import the laptops, TV sets, and computer software to sell.
Almost every business is being run at a loss now. We are only hanging in presently to make sure that, hoping, just against hope, that things will normalize.
They have seen increasing prices by more than 20%, but is unable to pass on the full devaluation. Customers struggling with annual inflation jumping to a decade high of 16.5% in June will stay away.
To get a laptop now, the standard we want, we'll be designing architectural designs and stuff like that. For the fact that we're going for a London use or the fairly used ones, we're getting a very higher rate. like times 3 or times 5 of what you used to buy.
In all of this, the economy is said to be on the brink of a recession.
Is Nigeria in recession? Technically, if you go into 2 quarters of negative growth, technically you're in recession. But I don't think we should dwell on definitions. I think we should really dwell on where we're going. And I think if we are in recession, what I would like to say is we are going to come out of it, and it will be a very short one, because the policies that we have will ensure that we don't go below where we need to go. And I think with what we're doing, we will begin to turn the corner, I believe, by Q3.
On Friday, the central bank sold dollars on the interbank currency markets after the rates fell to a record low of 331 Naira per dollar. The Naira firms to 300 per dollar after the intervention.
I believe by Q3.
Many will be looking to the central bank governor, Godwin Emefiele, for answers on how to address the worsening shortage of dollars at the end of the Monetary Policy Committee meeting on Tuesday.
In the meantime, as the inflation rate continues to rise, foreign currency scarcity persists and the economy is still grappling with the severe impact of the oil price crash. All eyes are on the committee to see what the outcome would be. That's the Monetary Policy Committee. They have been meeting in Abuja, and of course they are due to announce their decisions tomorrow. Let's put the questions to the CEO, Economic Associates, Mr. Ayo Teriba. Let him help us understand what is likely to happen henceforth. Thank you for joining us on Network Africa. What kind of policy direction do you think the MPC will be announcing tomorrow? Remember, the inflation rate is at 16.5%, and liquidity issues at the FX market also is a factor.
Right. The big issue for the country right now is the inflation, not the inflation rate. The inflation rate will correct itself in a result of a cost shock, like devaluation, like the hike in the pump prices of petroleum products. Those will die out on their own. The substance goes on inflation will die out. The central bank needs to think boosting liquidity to support the economy to recover quickly from the recession. I think that's the big issue, how to ease liquidity to provide support to the economy.
So a lot of people are asking, and they've asked this question of what benefit is the new FX policy when the Naira has continued to depreciate?
Well, the new FX policy does not amount to much. You cannot price yourself out of society. And the government has to find additional products to supply to the market, either by selling some assets that they have, that can be sold to foreign investors, and letting foreign investors bring in new money for new projects, or asking for Nigerians in diaspora to provide some foreign to increase the supply of foreign in the market. Liberalizing the price will not only put the Naira in the foot for us.
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ayo Teriba, CEO, Economic Associates, for putting that in perspective for us. Thank you. Let's take a break on Network Africa. When we come back, the UNODC and the federal government are partnering to curb drug trafficking and other crimes in Nigeria. Just stay with us.